Hello everyone, and welcome to the 6th installment in my Minecraft Dungeons build series. Like I stated in the last episode, this will be a 4-part series where I showcase 4 builds that I've recently been working on. And just as a reminder, all the builds showcased in this series have been cloned from the same character that I main, and that's why they really have similar enchantment levels along with emeralds and only a Gong of Weakening in their inventory. And without any further ado, let's get right into this explosion-focused build that I'm calling the Blasting Bomber. Starting off, for my weapon of course, I have the Cursed Axe. And for built-in skills, we have Spin Attack and Defeated Mobs Explode. As for the enchantments, I went with Critical Hit, Leeching, and Sharpness. And no Gilded enchantment this time. And for stats, we have pretty high power, low speed, but really big area, which is really nice for dealing with big groups of mobs. Following that, for armor, we have the Splendid Robe. And for the built-in skills, we have plus 50% artifact damage, 40% artifact cooldown, and 30% melee damage. And for the enchantments, I have double cooldown and swift-footed. And for my gilded enchantment, I have level 3 health synergy. Next up, for the bow, I have the Imploding Crossbow. And for the built-in skills, it has Explodes on Impact and Gravity. For the enchantments, I have Ricochet, Infinity, and Multi-Shot. And for the gilded enchantment, I have level 3 Chain Reaction. As for the stats, we have really high power and low speed and ammo. Lastly, for my artifacts, I have Blast Fungus, and another Blast Fungus. And of course, something that's always required for a melee-focused build, in my opinion at least, the Death Cap Mushroom. And like always, I have a Gong of Weakening to help deal with the bosses. Moving on to the damage showcase, outright we have 4 million on a crit and 1 million on just normal damage. Decently high output, including the mushroom. Increase that speed for a really high damage output for the speed and area that we are covering. Now with the added bonus of the Gong, we are doing 4 million on a solid crit and 12 million on a crit. Add in the Death Cap, and we are just pouring out damage into this dummy. Now for the bow, we are doing almost 900,000. Really close. I think that was 886. There we go, goes the Chain Reaction and Multi-Shot again. You can see a lot of damage there along with the exploding. And now let's add on the Gong and we should do double that. Oh, more. I saw we hit for 2.5 million there and 1,800,000 a second time. But yeah, overall a really powerful bow, and you just see Infinity's making us lose hardly any arrows over the course of all the ones we're shooting. And for the artifacts, which surprisingly do damage, I usually choose some more utility ones, but these are pretty powerful artifacts, shown here. As you can see, 2.5, almost 3 million damage 4 times over. Excuse me, 5, I didn't realize it was that much, wow. So with the double cooldown, we can really just spam these 2 Blast Fungus all around us to really help with crowd control in combination with the axe, which really just creates a good combo with the Gong. Yep, almost 3 million, and then I believe we're doing half of that without. So yeah, overall a really good artifact. And now I think it's time for you guys to see how this build performs in an Apocalypse plus 25 level. And like normal, we have a themed level, and this time I decided to go with Soggy Swamp. So we'll see how this build performs. This is usually a pretty difficult level, surprisingly, so yeah, we'll have to see how it fares. Already doing pretty good. Leeching is being really helpful. The skeleton's trying to pick us off, but we're healing with the hits on the zombies. Blast Fungus haven't really been needed to use yet. There we go. Yeah, pretty much a one-shot for the weaker enemies. Some witches up here. Be careful. Yeah, that was not too hard. Here we go with the smaller group. Just throw out the Blast Fungus. Really help with that crowd control, like I stated before. Haven't actually used the bow yet, so next time I see a big group... Yep, that's a lot of damage. Grabby's being really helpful there, so bring them all closer. Let's do another bow hit. Nice. Some more of the fungus. Keep on this track. Finish off these last guys. Oh, there we go. We've cleared out this section. Alright, so I think I'm going to end the commentary here, and I'll make sure to get back to you guys once I'm at the end, but in the meantime, I hope you enjoy this short compilation of me going throughout the level. So that's got to be probably the closest I've ever been to actually losing a level with one of these builds. I ended up dying once due to some electrified slimes, another time due to some double damage thorns creepers, and lastly due to some powered up skeletons with deflect and chain reaction. So yeah, overall not a pretty good time for this build. And I definitely have to admit that this build is really kind of a glass cannon in a sense. It can deal out a bunch of damage really quickly and definitely hold its own, but you also have to be really conservative with it and definitely stay back and use your crossbow a lot of the times because you can easily get overwhelmed if there's a big group of enchanted mobs. So definitely not my best build, but overall a pretty fun one, and it's really satisfying to get all those explosions out on all the annoying mobs. And to end this video off, I'd just like to thank everyone who tuned into this and the last video I made on the build series. This is definitely a fun and really powerful build in the right hands, but in the wrong hands and the wrong circumstances, you can easily die and lose a level instantly if you get too swarmed or too overwhelmed in a lot of situations. And I think this build could probably use some more defensive enchantments and artifacts. I probably should have slotted in at least an Ironhide and maybe added some protection like I stated before. But overall, it's still a really fun build and not per se bad, but not amazing. Definitely wouldn't run it as your main build. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Have an amazing rest of your day, and goodbye.